Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It is time once again for that weekly painting progress, which some of you seem to tune into quite regularly. So thank you for joining me so regularly. I guess I'll keep painting so regularly, and I'm gonna stop repeating my words. Anyway, so it has been a busy weekend, let me tell you. Obviously we've got Super Bowl, we've got the Lunar New Year, we've got Valentine's right around the corner. I've got kids taking driving tests. I've got passport photos I have to get another kid to do. It's just like everything is piling up all at once, and I managed to get a 3-day weekend out of it all as well. No, it's not for President's Day. That's next week. We have 2 weekends off for President's Day. I should say 3-day weekends. So I guess that is one of the small, slight benefits of being a public school educator. Anyways, for whatever reason, the overwhelming majority of stuff that I ended up painting ended up the color green. And it's kind of early for St. Patrick's Day and greenness, but that's okay. This model obviously is not green, but we painted him nonetheless. This is obviously it's supposed to be some kind of a ninja dude. It was from Last Sword Miniatures. Pretty sure it was Last Sword. No, not Last Sword, Lost Kingdom. But they're both from Spain, so take of that what you will. Lost Kingdom Miniatures. Last Sword, there's too many L-named companies in Spain, I guess? I don't know. Lost Kingdom is the one that did these ninjas. They were doing like this wood elf kind of ninja-themed samurai Eastern-styled army there for a while, and I don't know if these guys were supposed to be part of that or what. And this was, I want to say, one of the models from the command group, actually. And I just thought it was so absolutely ridiculous. This pose is so over-the-top anime-esque with these ridiculously large shuriken. It is a feat unto itself that this model has remained in one piece in the entire duration of its existence in my household. I say that and then I'll snap it on camera probably, right? Hopefully not. Well, it is somewhat boring in terms of its paint job. I just couldn't think of what to do. I did try to do some highlighting, but I just kind of got absorbed with the blacks. That's what I get for using a dark gray, I guess. So I might go back and play with it, but I mean, it's like, it gets the job done. I mean, he is a ninja and all. That is just such a crazy pose he's in. I love it. And then the other only non-green model, not that all the green models are the same, that we worked on, was this Idolon. I believe it was called an Idolon. The Inquisitors were the unit type for the city-states from Parabellum's Conquest. This was a resin kit, whereas the Inquisitors, if that's their name, were actually plastic, but they also didn't have 2 extra hands or as much technological doodads attached to their bits that were remaining of humanity. Honestly, the AdMech would be proud of these guys. He's a big dude. That is a 60mm base he's on, considering he's almost entirely hunched over as well. If you're not familiar with Conquest yet, well, I don't know how you can do that without especially if you haven't watched this channel, because I've got a ton of Conquest videos. I'll take a big old swig of coffee here. So it's pretty much on par in terms of size with the Avatara of the Spires. This is one of their plastic mainstay troops if you wanted to run certain things, which are absolutely bizarre and fun. So our Idolon can absolutely give them a good run for their money, but they're for the city-states. And while the version that Parabellum has on their website and on the box art has a purple cape, I figured I wanted to have him match up with the rest of my city-state stuff. This is one of their foot sloggers. Actually, I've got a box of their sword and board guys that I have been meaning to get around to building and posting. So we're going to have to see those soon in the near future. If you haven't seen that or you want to see some more Conquest stuff, then obviously you should be sticking around here. Whereas my wife wants me to keep reminding people, hit the like and subscribe buttons, but I feel stupid doing that because I think obviously people are intelligent enough to figure out if they wanted to watch this more often than they would. Alright, so time for green things. First up, we've got, he's still kind of glossy unfortunately, darn it. This is one of the new, what were they, the Chosen of the Kami, I believe. The new army that the Dragon Trappers Lodge is starting. So in case you're not aware, Dragon Trappers Lodge is one of those 3D studios that puts out all kinds of interesting models. They have kind of a double monthly release these days. One release being a typical fantasy assortment of stuff that can be used in RPG supplements. And then you've got stuff like these guys, which are actually intended for tabletop wargaming and skirmishing. So previously we've had kind of interesting bits and pieces of releases that could work and function as armies or skirmish forces. But I think the Chosen of the Flame were Children of the Flame, were their first major push into a unified army piece where you had everybody with a uniform, everybody all kind of aligned in terms of equipment and stuff. They were all Dragonborn as well. And I'm looking around. I did find one of my sniper girls. I think this is from before they were actually... Maybe this was like the very first release. I don't even remember, but there's a ton of them. If you haven't seen them, there's also plenty of kobold and stuff. Fun things like that. But the new army is purely fantasy so far, and it is samurai themed. I want to say this guy might have been the unit champion. And I'm now looking at that sword's hilt, and I don't think I painted it. I did a very quick paint job on these guys. I'll be honest, this is more like me trying to do a proof of concept type thing. Figure out if it worked. I kind of wanted to have some green samurai, and I did another one. One in silver, one with gold highlights. And they both work. I think this guy was a typical standard troop. And again, one of the nice things is, while the figures themselves may not be fully modular like some of the other modeling companies out there, they do have just about every piece of equipment and variety that you can really ask for in multiple poses. And I mean, unless you're really looking for heavily converted stuff, if you want to have every single figure, looking unique, I don't think we're there yet in terms of samurai models for the tabletop, but I think these guys are putting in a great show. So, I obviously went with the big Nodachis, big swords for them. I do have some spearmen with their Yari coming as well that I've started. I just didn't get around to finishing them yet. And it looks like we got some cool stuff coming up this month as well. So I'm obviously, at some point, going to take a look at those. Now, what I spent most of my free time doing, which isn't much, admittedly, was playing around with some more of the, what are they called? The Jade Battalion? That sounds right, doesn't it? Like, it's just, my mind went blank. From the Maker's Cult. So this is like their basic troop, right? I'm pretty sure I've shown these guys before. Maybe not this specific sculpt. I've painted a couple, and I don't remember where I put them all. I know I've shown you guys, like, they have their heavy infantry. They're very machining Krieger type blockiness going on. But I know I haven't shown off any of the scouts yet. Now, I did try to paint their sleeves a little bit different just to help further differentiate them. So, besides the fact that they have different helmets and slightly different guns, one thing you'll notice right away is that their armor, he's got that, I forget what the part's called, that kind of guards the neck and the chin area there. But then they also have this extra shoulder pad, and then they don't have any backpacks and extra plating on their backs. So, those are the scouts. Got an extra one here. And in addition to painting scouts, I went ahead and am playing with the lighting function. Started working on some of the veterans. So the veterans, obviously, are a bit more heavily armored. They've got the shoulder pads on both sides. They've got kind of waist armor as well. They've got their forearm guards. They've got the little light there that I tried to paint, even though I didn't do the best job, on their armor, as well as a ridiculous amount of pouches, the backpack. I've got holstered pistols back there, various ammo pouches and junk all over them. So these dudes are ready to rock. So when you have like all 3 types here, I should say 4. And there are other variations too. We've got shepherds, which are kind of like pathfinders or something. I don't know, like Green Beret types. We've had a couple of different officer types as well. So it is kind of cool to see the gradual upgrade of armor there. But I went ahead and painted a few more veterans. I like the heavier armor. And then we can have the big, bulky guys supporting them. But I am absolutely going to be putting together a nice sized skirmish force. And since I seem to keep playing with all of the green paint, I really like that color. It's one of Vallejo's newer ones for their game color line. It was like Jade something or other. But I also have some of the epic-sized Jade Coalition. I don't know if I said that earlier, and I've already forgotten what I've said. But yeah, I've got a bunch of their 6mm guys. I need to get some bases printed, but I'm absolutely going to go forward with that as well. So that's what I've been up to this week. Hopefully all of you have been busy as well. I'm hoping to take advantage of that extra day off of work, but I can pretty much guarantee that, nope, that's not going to happen. And hopefully everybody out there is going to be busy and industrious and enjoying themselves with all of the various happenings going on. Enjoy your Valentine's days, everyone. I'm going to try to do the same. So again, I apologize in advance if I don't get much painted. But at least you can look forward to some kind of videos. I don't have any special Valentine-themed videos, unfortunately. That would have been fun. But yeah. Anyways, as always, we'll have links to this stuff down below. You want to hunt any of it down yourself, by all means, I highly suggest you do. Post your pictures online. You can hit me up with that hashtag weekly painting progress. I usually do try to check that out, or just call me out directly. That's always an easy way to do it. And hopefully everybody out there will be staying healthy, safe, and having fun. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.